Hey everyone, it's Lee-Anne here from Makeup by Lee-Anne Holistic Health and Beauty. I'm back second time. Technology just let me down, and we're going to get started with my special friend and guest speaker, Deb Stephenson, who is joining me today. So I'm just going to wait for her to hop on, and we will then begin our Wellness Wednesday. Which is a new initiative that I have started every Wednesday, where I collaborate and bring forward to you professionals in the health and wellness industry. So just waiting for Deb to get on, and then we can get started again. She is on now, so I'm just going to bring her on the camera. There we go. Any minute. Yeah. Let me try again because she declined it. Deb, you actually have to click add. There we go. You declined my first. You declined my first attempt. I was like, no.
Oh, did I?
Okay.
I accept it. Technical stuff's good when it works.
I know. I am just so super excited to have you on here today to share and pour into my network about your special gifts and what you do. So just as a little intro, I met Debbie just over 3 years ago. I was presenting the Arbonne business opportunity to a group of lovely ladies through one of my business partners, and Debbie was sitting right across the room from me, and we were actually showcasing a product which some of you may know of it. It's a body gelée, and basically it's fantastic to help with sore muscles and aches and pains. And we were going around the table, and I said to everybody, just put a little bit on your shoulders, massage it in. It feels awesome, and it's going to help with any of those aches and pains. And it went around the table, and it got to Debbie, and Debbie just said, no thanks, I'm good, I don't get any aches and pains. And everybody like stared her down and was like, what is this woman on? Like, what is she taking? And I think one of the other ladies in the group just said, Debbie, are you for real? Like, what are you doing? And she said, I just meditate. Anyway, we didn't go into it at that point, and we just continued, but it's just something that stuck with me from that day forward. And it was actually my business partner who was connecting with Debbie on a regular basis for her own inner work and her own personal development. And I just went along my way and never thought about it again until I actually experienced a loss in my family. So yeah, just getting really real with you guys. We had experienced a death, a loss of a loved one, and it was just pretty tragic for me personally. I did not handle it very well at all, and just kept going with being a mum, doing my work, just getting stuff done, and just not actually really dealing with it very well. Actually left with my kids it was January, so a couple of months later after meeting Debbie, and I left with my kids to the Gold Coast because they were dancing in a Aussie comp up there, and it was just me and my girls, and I just took that week to really just reflect. I did a lot of reading, writing, but I was feeling really low, but I couldn't really share that with my girls at the time. And then out of the blue, it was about 10:30 one night in that week that my friend, business partner, who was already working with Debbie, sent me a message to say, I need to have a chat to you. And at that point, like, my heart sank, and I thought, oh my gosh, you know, she's quitting the business or something ridiculous. Anyway, we connected, and she just said to me, I know this is going to sound quite woo-woo, but I've been doing this work with Debbie, and you've come up in one of our meditations, and she has asked me to reach out to you for you to connect with her. And at that point, I just had that pit in my stomach where I just kind of knew that it was like a sliding door moment. Like, I was like, this is just nuts. Like, how would this woman have me? Like, she doesn't even know me, come up in one of her meditations. And at that point, I basically just said to myself, like, it was, do I do this or don't I do this? And I just thought, well, if I don't reach out to her, I'll never know. I'll never know if what she could offer me could help me in some way. And I'm so grateful that I followed my gut. And as scary as it was, I messaged her and I just said, you've asked for me to connect with you. Let's have a chat. And basically from that day forward, Debbie has become an integral part of my own personal journey, of my own personal development. She has helped me through so much. And here's the thing that I actually learned from Debbie after doing a healing with her yesterday, is that Debbie is actually not just helping people with their emotions, but she is actually able to help people at a physical level. So what she's taught me is that when you're having certain aches and pains in your body, there's an underlying blockage or emotion that needs to be cleared. And she has a mechanism to actually heal that way. Yeah. So that's enough about my story, because I really want Debbie to get on here, and she is the star of the show. And maybe you can just start off by sharing with us, Debbie, you know, what is a holistic therapist or spiritual healer? And, you know, why would someone be looking to seek out someone like yourself to support them?
Thanks, Lee-Anne. Thanks for sharing a story. And it was one of those moments of synchronicity that was really organised by the divine that made you and I meet. Look, my background, I'll just start with my background. You know, I guess I had a lot of childhood trauma to deal with, and as I, you know, grew up and came through into adulthood, and especially after I had my children, all those things in me, negative emotions in me, didn't, you know, they were causing me a lot of stress in my life. And I couldn't sleep, and I knew I needed to learn to meditate. And so that was how I ended up on the path. And I've been on the path for over 20 years now, and it's just been an amazing journey. And so now I help other people to heal as I have healed over a period of time, and to bring more joy and peace into their lives. So as a holistic therapist and intuitive energy healer and therapist, what I do is I have the ability to actually tune into people's bodies. So, you know, we are all energy. We have energy in us. Everything has energy and is made up of energy. And so it's about me tuning into your energy body and bringing through divine energy or universal energy to release things in people that really aren't serving them. And, you know, we've all got challenges. We've all got negative stuff going on in our heads. We've got negative emotions. You know, we could be going through grief. We could be having issues around not belonging or being bullied, low self-esteem, like, you know, stress, anxiety, depression. There's so many things that people experience, and everybody has some issues. But what I've found is, you know, using energy and being able to tune into someone in a holistic way, we can peel off the layers like the onion. You know, the onion has many layers. You peel one layer off and there's another layer there. And when you peel a few layers off, you start to reveal this absolutely beautiful person inside that you couldn't see before because it was covered with the Maya, with all the negative thoughts, beliefs and emotions. And you struggle in life with that. You know, some people have dramas, relationship issues. It's all very normal, and we're all here for the same reason. We're actually all here to heal and become more love in our essence, and more love and light, and exude that into the world. But sometimes we need a helping hand to do that. And that's what I do, is I help people uncover the things that are stopping them from shining.
That's amazing. And I've seen that in my own personal experience as well. So what are some of the techniques that you actually use? Like if somebody was experiencing any of those emotions or those symptoms that you've just mentioned and they had to connect with you, what would be some of the techniques that you use in your session with them?
Okay. So luckily for me, I have very good, refined intuition, and it's easy for me to tune into somebody's energy body. I'm also tuning into what's happening in their mind and in their subconscious. So the subconscious is actually more powerful than the conscious mind. So you might be thinking one thing in your conscious mind, but in your subconscious, you've got a totally different thing going on. So for example, you know, a lot of people are into positive thoughts and affirmations, and you might be thinking, yes, 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 I'm wealthy and I'm going to earn all this money. But in your subconscious, often it comes from your upbringing, you know, the negative conditioning in your former years. You might have beliefs that say, well, no, unfortunately, I'm stuck in poverty consciousness and scarcity. So that is going to rule the show. Or you might have a thought in your subconscious that's saying, I'm not good enough, you know, and that's what's going to come out of you. So there's so many things that we keep locked inside of us, and they're in that subconscious area. So I use energy and I tune in through my intuition, which I've refined through a lot of meditation, and I've been working in this area for a long, long time now. And, you know, it's about tuning in to the person and what they need, but also in conjunction with the guidance, the soul guidance. So I also tune into the person's soul. Now, every soul has a different journey, and a lot of people are so disconnected from their souls, they're just off on a different, you know, track to what they should be. If you're in tune with your soul and you stay tuned in with your soul, then you are going to have the life of your dreams. Okay, you really will. You'll be able to manifest money, you know, great relationships, a good relationship with yourself, which is what we all need to do. And that's where we have that life. You know, we're all looking for inner peace. We're all looking for happiness. We're all looking for joy. And you're only going to find it within, but you have to peel the layers off to get there. So I use, you know, spiritual energy combined with my intuition, and I tune into what a person needs to release in order to let more of their soul in. And what happens once you do enough of that work is you end up living your life's purpose, you know, which is just amazing because you're doing work that you absolutely love, as you would know, Lee-Anne, and that's the same for myself. You know, I've completely turned my life around. And, you know, there's so much joy just under the surface, just bubbling away there that I can tap into, and, you know, the soul love. So it's really about getting in and doing the inner work to peel the layers away so that you can have more of that in your life, more happiness, and of course love, you know.
Yeah. I think what's come to my mind, so I'm just going to, because I know that we have connected, and I'm just going to run with it because this is not part of the questions that we had, but
yeah,
I want to share with you, I want you to share with everybody what makes you so special and different, because here's the thing, you've mentioned it to me before that there are many, many people doing this work, but not all of it is authentic. And the divine wants me to ask you this question, which is, why are you special and different? What do you bring that allows you to be that authentic person, to shine?
Yeah. I think the difference with my style of healing is that it's very nurturing. and I'm very connected to the divine. And I think that's the difference. There's a lot of people out there doing a lot of stuff. And because it has to, when you bring energy through from any source, that energy may not be pure. It's always been really, really important for me to be connecting to pure energy in the divine, and also, you know, in spiritual energy, it has to be pure. But also, as I bring it through me to give it to my client, my energy body also has to be pure. So I've worked very hard on being the clearest channel that I can be. And that's allowed me also to have clearer intuition. So I feel you also bring your own soul to the table. And I know that the way I look at it in my language is that I have a very big soul that's here to do a big job to help a lot of people to connect with their souls. And not all energy healers are able to do that. So I'm channeling pure divine energy, which I know where that comes from. A lot of energy healers, you'll say, well, where does your energy come from? What are you channeling? And they actually don't really know. So I encourage people to, I help them to get rid of the things that are not helping them in their lives. And that's what energy healers do, because people have, the body has the capability of healing itself. I help remove those things like the negative thoughts and beliefs and emotions and genetic stuff, like, stuff that's really messing you up. I get in there and remove those factors so that, yes, you can have a better life, but also physically and in your body, you're going to feel better. And so that's what I do for me. If I get an ache or a pain or something happening, I quickly tune into it and I resolve the issue. And that's what we did for Lee-Anne yesterday. At the end of the healing, she said, I've got this really sore shoulder and I'm about to go to the chiropractor. And I said, well, just let me have a look at it. And I said, well, this is what you've stored in there. And I released it and then released the energy for her. And I could feel it loosening in the moment. And but I'm probably getting off track there a little bit. But yeah, go on.
Yeah, I was just about to say, to be the best version of you. So I have learned through all the incredible, amazing people that I've surrounded myself in the last 3 years, is that you absolutely have to work on yourself. You have to do the inner work. And you actually have to look at all those things that are triggering you. Those things are making you feel uncomfortable, or things that you're getting upset over or you're getting anxious about. And you actually have to go and figure out why that's happening. And I know that from my own personal experience, I certainly would not have the most gorgeous and beautiful, amazing friendship with someone at the moment, like someone who introduced me to my album business, and we have grown together to be closer than ever. My beautiful friend Taryn, because of the work that Debbie has allowed me to do on myself. And I say this all because it's my own personal experience. So I just challenge any of you out there that if you're having any relationship issues with loved ones or family or friends or business partners, there is other ways to do that through holistic healers, through holistic therapists like Debbie. And I'm so grateful for all the work we did, because what I learned, one of the things actually that Debbie does is that she runs these workshops. They run over about the one I did ran over about 6 weeks. And every week we had a different topic. And some of the topics were around like life purpose, the magic mirror, finding your core beliefs, emotions and feelings, intuition. There was one on mantra, about self-love and self-worth. I mean, we even did something called the shadow, which some of you may know about or not, and even numerology. It was just unreal because as a group, we all connected actually virtually, and we were just poured into in terms of these topics and given so much information that we could actually use in our own life and our own businesses and our own relationships. And then we had a beautiful meditation at the end. So I know that Debbie does run not only one-on-one consultations with people, but she also does she does workshops quite regularly, so she can actually share more with you about that in the comments after this. But one of the things that I learned was something about the magic mirror, and that she was one of those topics, and that was that when you see something in someone else, it sometimes is a reflection of yourself. And you know, that was just a massive part of awakening and growth that I had to do to get me to this point today. And we're always learning, and we're always growing. And so surrounding myself with people like Debbie just makes it a whole lot easier. Debbie, I wanted you to just finish off by talking about India, because India has become a massive part of what you do, part of your journey, what you stand for. I mean, you've been traveling there for a couple of years now, is that right?
I've been going there since 2010. That was my very first trip to India.
Wow.
And I was going for once a year for a while, and now I usually go twice a year because that's where I refill, that's where I get my spiritual refilling from, and it's just what the soul needs and yearns for.
Okay. So what do you
So
when you go there? What are some of the things that you do?
Yeah, well, I go to a spiritual community there and connect deeply with the spiritual head of that community. And there's lots of temples, and no one's sort of instructing you to do anything. It's just being in the energy. You're actually communing with the divine. But there's always inner transformation that happens there. Now, whether you're there for a week or 2 weeks, 3 weeks, whatever it is, I've just come back from there a couple of weeks ago. I was there for a month, and I was very blessed to be able to stay that long. It's a chance for more inner growth, to peel away more layers that aren't serving you, and to become more of your soul. But you're in that divine energy. It is honestly, it just feels like you're in heaven. If you could go to heaven here on earth, if there was a heaven here on earth, where I go, it's a little place in southern India. It's about 3 hours from Chennai. 3 hours drive from Chennai in southern India, and it's this rural place in the middle of nowhere. But it is just pure love. You're in this heightened love bubble. It's really hard to describe, because if you haven't been in it, you mind, or you just wouldn't be able to imagine it. And it's absolutely transforming going there. So for me to actually go there and have time there, I just feel so blessed, because not all souls are called to do this work, and it helps me with my business. It helps me with my life. I'm always connected to that source, and that universal source, and that energy is always with me through my connection of going to India. So I've been running retreats in India for a while now. I've always taken people with me, and I'm running another retreat in July. So this retreat's a little bit bigger than what I've probably done in the past, but there'll be, we'll be able to walk the star path daily, go to all the temples, and have 2 or 3 hours together as a group to do meditation and inner work. So you can really get, into the inside of you, go inside, and really, weed out those things, get rid of those things that aren't serving you, and get to know yourself. A lot of people, they've never even looked inside. They wouldn't even know what was there. They don't even know they have a soul. So we'll be exploring lots of topics, and also, you know, bringing the divine in, because it will be in that energy. It'll just be absolutely amazing. And if anyone's up for some deep transformation, then this is the way to have it, because and to get it, because it's honestly, it's just an absolutely amazing experience. So if that's for you, then please get in contact with me. So I have a group. I have a business page called Love Soul Healing, which is my brand of healing. And what I do when I actually teach energy healing, I give people the light codes and attune them to the energy, so that they have the ability to do energy healing themselves. So that you've got, you know, there's a beginner's course, and there's also a practitioner training course, which is teaching people what I do and everything that I know. But even if you just do the beginner's course, to be able to have that tool to help your family, you know, is an amazing thing. And I honestly don't know how I would have got through my life without these tools, without the access to the healing energy. And also for my family, I'm constantly helping someone. You know, if someone's sick or they've got an issue in their life or a drama, you know, to look at things, lift things up and look at things from a spiritual perspective, and then be able to get in through your guidance and your, you know, healing ability to change that, it's truly a gift. And everyone, absolutely everyone, can have access to that. So as you said, Lee-Anne, I do run workshops, and I'm planning more beginners energy healing workshops in the future, so that people can connect with this energy and you can use it for yourself. And I also have online courses and meditations, audios that I'm selling. So, you know, and they're not expensive. I try and keep them at a price where everyone's, you know, everyone can access them. So I believe that if you have some knowledge of things like the magic mirror, which is about how your thoughts create your reality, and you put your knowledge together with your healing, so you're healing, you know, getting rid of those things that aren't serving you, and you bring the divine in and have a relationship with the divine and your own soul connection. The divine and your soul connection really are the one thing, the same thing. That's the formula to transform your life. And, you know, you can go away and manifest all you like, and yes, you'll get a little bit of happiness, but to have this is absolute pure joy, and the inner peace from it, you know, is truly amazing. It's just, for me, it's brings me to a place of absolute peace and contentment and happiness and joy. It's such a joy-filled life. It's, you know, I can't, words really can't describe the feeling that you get from it. So if you feel called to connect, then please get in touch with me.
Definitely. And what I will definitely do is I will post your business page details in the comments, so that anybody who's watching this can absolutely connect with you. Do you have the dates already in July for when you're going to India?
I think we're leaving either on the 11th or 12th of July, and it goes for about 2 weeks and 7. So we'll be going over as a group, flying over as a group. We'll have to buy our saris, because you have to, you know, dress. There's a dress code, but that's really exciting to be able to dress up in your sari. And then we'll arrive at the ashram, and it's all vegetarian food. It's all included. As I said, 2 to 3 hours of, you know, transformational inner work every day, as well as the activities that are going on over in all the temples. It's just an amazing, absolutely amazing place, and you get to see the projects that the Divine's actually working on as well. And then there's an opportunity to do, after the retreat, to do 3 nights over near Chennai on the coast to do some shopping and that sort of stuff, you know, just adds to it. So that's up to you whether you join in for that. But the actual retreat part of it goes for the meditation retreat from at the ashram goes for 7 days.
Fantastic.
So every day we'll connect. Yeah, so it's an opportunity for you to experience a lot of inner growth and transformation during that time. Yeah.
Fantastic. And you say you do this quite regularly, so if anyone misses out now, you know, they can just connect with you and find out when your next one is, because it is something that you're doing regularly as well.
Yeah. And
so I just am so beyond grateful to have your precious time today. Today's been more of an overview for the audience that are watching. Today's really just been more an overview about you know, what you do and some of the value that you bring in the amazing work that you share with others. But my intention moving forward is that we'll get Debbie back on here, and we're actually going to speak more specifically around topics like self-love, self-worth, what is empowerment, the shadow, why do we connect to the divine, our life purpose. We'll be talking about vibration, intuition. Debbie and I brainstormed a lot, and the purpose is that she would come back on again, and we would actually just take one of these topics and give you 20 minutes or 15 to 20 minutes of some real good info to help empower you, that you can actually take forward and use practically day to day. So I'm so super grateful for your time, Debbie. Thank you so much again.
Thank you.
Have a beautiful day, and we will chat soon. And thank you to everybody that watched live today and that is supporting my personal journey. Look forward to seeing you next week. Bye.